Alrighty, let's go for a garden tour. Start in the pepper bed. And again, lots of little pepper seedling flower heads in there. The eggplants are starting to fill out a bit more. They're getting some nice big leaves. No sign of eggplants, but I guess it's still early. And more peppers. Like, look at how many this one has. There's a whole bunch of them. I can't wait till I can tell what they are so that I know what kinds I planted. I have a Zulu pepper. I have an Aluco sarga or something. It's a Hungarian pepper. I have a nice thick meaty red pepper, but we will just have to wait. Okay. Zucchinis have filled out quite a lot in the last couple of days. And again, lots of potential zucchini flowers in there. So far, we're good with squash bug, nothing under the leaves. Look at this one. It's even got a flower on it. So hopefully, with the rate that zucchini grows, we'll be eating zucchini this week. And by next week, we'll be sick of it. Lettuce, they're doing pretty good. They were transplants earlier in the week, so they seem to have established themselves quite happily. And the squash are coming along really well. They've got little tendrils. They tend to be hanging onto each other, which I think is okay. But ideally, they were going to climb all the way up. Well, maybe not to the roof, but we'll see what happens. Okay, sunflower. This bean that got kind of damaged down in there was falling off, kept flopping down. So I've tied him up. We'll see what happens. Just loose. You don't want this to be tight, so it's just a loose knot. And these guys are doing nicely. We're getting new growth every day. They grow quite quickly, which is good. These ones here are butternut squash. Like, look at that. It's all the way up, catching the wire. That one's pretty close. And then these guys down here are more spaghetti squash. And they, if I can find it, they are actually hanging on to the wire, which is great. Sage, I just put in some more cilantro seeds this morning because our cilantro over here has gone to seed. So, I mean, it's still edible, but cilantro has a pretty short lifespan. I could let it go and we could get the coriander seed off of it, which I will do towards the fall. But for now, I'm going to rip this all out and dry some of it. Well, most of it, what we don't eat. And we've got a new patch over there starting. And I do have another patch of cilantro on the other side of the shed. So it's around the corner there. So we'll eat the one on the other side of the shed while that one's growing. And I'll probably start a third patch here because we like our cilantro. And it doesn't last that long. Look at the climbing beans. They're doing really well. It's nice. And I'm thinking I have slugs, but I never see them, so I don't know. I have come out at night to check. God knows there's enough beer around. I could always put out little beer traps. So here you can put them in the ground and they'll gravitate to that, and then you just pull the trap out and get rid of them in the morning. So maybe we'll try that tonight. Because this is my dinosaur kale, which is actually a cabbage. I didn't realize, but it is a type of cabbage. It's the ones that get really, really tall, and you just keep like picking the leaves off the side. So I want to eat some of that, and I don't really want to feed slugs. We did put in more radish last week, just early, and it's cooled down, So that's good. Hopefully we'll get a bit of a radish crop. Cucumbers. Look at this, guys. Hello. There's another one in there. There he is. So I'll let those ones go. I'm not going to nip those ones out. And maybe we'll see what happens. Maybe we'll get a couple of baby cucumbers to start. I did tie him up, see? Because I'm trying to... Oh, what is that? Oh, okay. I thought maybe that was a slug, but it's not. It's just... I don't know what that was. Fluff. So yes, I tied him up because we're going to encourage them to grow up. And there's the mesh in behind. So hopefully, I used to use that technique when I grew them up on the deck in Oakville. So it should work. Same technique, just a different space. Chamomile. Maybe I can get this little hover bee. He comes all the time. I try not to, oh, there he goes. Try not to pick too many flower heads because I want them to have something to eat. So I leave as many as possible on. Hello. Aren't you pretty? Yeah, so I have been picking stems of it, and I dry it, and it's great for tea. But like I said, I like to leave some of it for the pollinators too. Check out the bean teepee. I'm going to back up so you can see it. We've got climbing beans. These are scarlet runner beans. So they're going to be like a thin green bean, one that you eat when they're still immature. And then the ones over here that are starting to bloom, this gorgeous red bloom, these are black coat runner beans. So like I was saying before, they're going to be really big, meaty beans. They look almost like a broad bean, and then you just let them dry on the vine, and then you take the seed out of it. Some of these guys are looking a bit wilty. So I watered this morning. We'll see what happens. Like that one's looking a little wilty too, over there. I try not to water too much. I don't want to baby the plants. I want them to like use their roots and get down into the soil and support themselves. But sometimes you've got to water. Oh, this was a different experiment. See this guy? He's going through the fence instead of using the pole. So he's made it all the way up to the top of the fence. And I think if we can, we'll get him to wrap himself around the pole, around this guy. But we'll see what happens. I think because these guys get side shoots, maybe the side shoots will start using the fence. But we will see. It's an experiment. Swiss chard, I'm going to rip out. It's just a lost cause. It's the same thing that my beets had. So that's coming out, and then I'll do what I did in the beet bed over there. I will rip the soil out. I'll put more soil in. It should be okay. I've got enough space between the kale. I think the kales are fine, so I'm going to leave the kale. Spinach is also going to come out. See, the spinach didn't like it either. And because it's been so hot, all my spinach is going to seed. So I'm going to pull out all the spinach. I'm going to do a quick boil with it, chop it up, and freeze it. And then I'll have spinach for whatever stuff. And, ooh, peas. Let me show you peas. We've got some peas coming in. So, look at that. Now these are not snow peas, so I'm going to wait till the pod fills up a little bit with the actual pea inside. And we've got a whole bunch of flowers, so we should be getting a fairly decent yield of peas. Look at, where are they? Those guys. And then just above there's more flowers. And on that guy. So, yeah. I'm anxious to have a mouthful or two of peas, but we'll see what happens with them. Turnips. Also going to be pulling the turnips out. Look at it. Totally gone to seed. But turnip greens are very good, so we'll just eat them. See, they look a little bit like broccolis. You can eat them this way too. They're good. Ow. Tastes a bit like broccoli too. Sweeter, pepperier. But yeah, so I think I'm going to do what I'm going to do with the spinach. Give them a quick blanch and then get as much water out as possible. Chop them up and then freeze them. So we'll have turnip tops. And the carrots, look at that. Get in there. Can we focus? We've got carrots. So that's good. Those are purple ones. These ones are orange ones. You can't tell right now. It's still too early. Dill, because I love dill. Oh, snakes. I think I've told you guys about the snakes, right? They're in the beds to keep the squirrels out. And as long as you keep moving them around, the squirrels don't go in the beds and dig. Tomatoes. We'll do a quick tomato tour. I transplanted one this week, and he's not doing well. There was one here that I think a squirrel or something had decapitated. It was just a stump. So I ripped that one out, planted this one, and I guess the root system hasn't quite developed enough. It's not reaching down into the earth enough to get enough water. So I've watered him. He'll probably come back. Tomatoes are pretty tough. I have been nipping off the bottom leaves so that they grow up. Look at the height of this guy. So we do have tomato flowers. No sign of a tomato yet, but that's okay. It's still early. So actually last week, most of our tomatoes weren't reaching this paddle panel yet. So I'm excited. When you look down the row, basically everything is reaching that height now. So they've grown quite a bit in a week, about a foot, I would say. So that's a good sign. This guy is also quite tall, and there are lots of future flower tomato heads in there. So that's one, and I've got some down there. Yeah, this type of potato is different. See the leaf? It's a potato leaf type. See that leaf versus that leaf? So these ones will continue to grow taller until I nip off the tops. So they could potentially get like 6 feet tall, which we won't let them because, I mean, that's as tall as they can go. So, which is still pretty tall. But yes, these ones will continue to grow and grow and grow, and they're the potato leaf type. I should know, but I don't. I think they're called indeterminate, and then the other ones are determinate. Or it's vice versa. I should really know that. Potatoes, almost all of them have flowers, like not blooming yet, but they've all got the little flower heads starting. So, yeah, that's a little zip around the garden for what's today? The 13th, June 13th. Thanks for watching.